Hey, what is going on everybody? It is Nolan, or the Optimistic Gamer here, and welcome back to the Optimistic Survival Series. Today we are finally finishing our river, a project that we started a couple months ago, and we are now getting back into it. As you can see, I have done a little bit more work since the last episode, extending the gravel from roughly about this point here all the way to where the river starts to narrow. I've also gone ahead and filled in the rest of the gravel over where our dam will be, and that way we can flood this today, fill it up with water, and have a pretty complete looking river. But for the start of the episode, we are going to be working right here in what will likely be a pretty narrow and steep canyon where the water will cut through the land. Now we are going to approach this a little bit differently than how we have been doing the river. Rather than carving out the gravel and placing that in, we are actually going to flood this first, and then we will go back in with our gravel later on and fill that in and kind of carve out the shape that we want. The reason we're doing this is because I want the water to step down a lot more. We're going to have a lot more rapids, I guess, if that's what we want to call it, as opposed to over here where the river is relatively flat. Of course, right through here, it's all going to be at the same Y level, and it doesn't step up until this gravel right here. And even then, that continues for another 20 blocks or so before it steps up one last time. So it's very gradual right here, but it's going to be flowing a lot more steep once we get into that canyon. I already have a couple water buckets on hand. We are going to make an infinite water source, and we are just going to get to work flooding this. But first, I think I'm going to clean out my inventory because that filled up quite a bit from all of this work that I was doing before the episode. So with that all taken care of, we can get to work. Like I said, we are just going to start by flooding this area right here. Of course, we will have water on this level, but once we get here where it starts to narrow, we are going to step it down again. So we will start with our water right here, and we are just going to start to fill all of this in. Of course, eventually it will kind of do its job on its own, but we will get it started here, and we are going to decide where exactly we want the water to step down. Now, we are currently at Y81. We are about 20 blocks above sea level. Now, I know we talked about having a bit of a waterfall over here, but I think what we will do is step this down maybe about 5 blocks. So by the time we get all the way to here, we will be at Y76, which would put us at about this point, right around here, which still gives us a very sizable waterfall. So I think we will continue this water all the way to about right here, where we will step it down again. Also, in the 1.21.5 update, there is now a bug where the grass block sounds are a little bit quieter than other blocks. So if we place grass, that's how it sounds. If we place dirt, which I don't have any on me, but we can go ahead and wreck this. And compared to the dirt, the grass is a lot quieter. Now, I know that this has already been confirmed and they are working on a fix for it, but to be honest, I'm not complaining, because sometimes the grass block sounds can be a little bit loud. It's just inconsistent, that's all. And obviously, every time we remove one of these levels of grass, we need to go through and go all the way to the end, since the water won't flow back up. And I am tempted to set up a haste beacon over here since we're going to be digging through a lot of stone, but I've gone ahead and removed those next couple layers of grass, so now we will get an idea of where this will once again step down as it continues towards the ocean. So I think we will have that flow to about this point right here. And then, once again, we will just drop that down a level and continue to remove these layers one at a time. Alright, so here is where we are at with that. Of course, that was our first step down, and then we have this one right here. Each of these sections is probably about 20 blocks in length, and now we just have this giant stone mass right in here that I'm going to set up a beacon for so that we can quickly remove all of this, but we will have probably one more final step down right here before we get into the waterfall. So we are getting very close. Well, I decided not to bring a beacon over here. I figured it would probably just be faster to fly back and forth to our town center, and it did go fairly quickly, but that is all finished now. All of our little tiers that we have that will gradually work its way down towards the ocean. Right down here, we have one final step down. This one's pretty long, probably 30-ish blocks. And then we have this one right here before we get to the waterfall, which we will work on at the end. But for now, we are going to go through and flood all of these different levels and slowly, again, gradually work them towards the ocean. And it should go fairly quickly. Again, once we kind of get some of these areas filled in, the infinite water sources kind of take over. And there we go, there's that first level complete, so now we are working on the next one down. Now what we may end up doing with these is maybe scaling the water back a little bit so that we get a more gradual flow, but I'm not 100% sure yet. This area of the river is supposed to be more rocky and have some rapids and things like that, so we might end up sticking with it. So there's our second layer finished now, and you get a pretty good idea of how we are going about this. We're just taking it one layer at a time, and I'm not really sure what we had happen right here. We're gonna need to fix that. We will go through later on with some sponges and clean up all of those mistakes, but for now, it's just nice to get some water in here, because it's gonna look like a river when we go and fly up above. And we are just about to the end of the final layer that we are going to fill in. And I think the water's gonna stop before it gets to the waterfall, so we don't have to worry about controlling the path of that right now. But there we have it. All of our water is now into place for the canyon part of the river. So let's fly up and take a look at that. It's definitely very nice to have that river of blue cutting through our land. We'll go ahead and pause right up here. Of course, the netherrack needs to be removed, and we will go do that real quick, but I do like the look of this, and once we get the larger part of the river filled in, we're gonna have a pretty complete looking stream. Of course, we still need to carve out the land around here a little bit more. We may end up doing that on a live stream, because that is going to take a little bit of time, and I want to make sure that it looks right. But it's going to be a very steep cliff, sort of like that hillside right there, where it really goes up pretty quickly and creates that canyon dip. But I'm gonna go ahead and remove all of this netherrack real quick, and then I think we will go flood the large part of the river. There we go, all of that netherrack is gone now, so that grass is going to, or the dirt is slowly going to fill in to grass, and we have ourselves the start of a canyon. Again, probably going to happen on a live stream in the next couple weeks. But let's head over to the main part of the river now. We're going to start to fill this in, and the way we're going to do it is we are going to fill in a layer of, I'm not really sure, probably netherrack across the top. That way we can go in and fill all of the water in across the top at once, and then we will go in with kelp and turn all of those water flows into water source blocks. But for now, we are going to get started on that. So again, the way that will work is we will place our netherrack just going across the top. And the reason I want to use netherrack is because, well, A, we have an abundance of it, B, it's quick to break, and of course C, it is easy to spot, and it doesn't interfere with the gravel when we go to break it. But that will look like that, and again, when we go to fill in the water, we can just place it all across the top. It will fill in very nicely for us, and then we will go in, break the netherrack, and have a pretty complete river. So I'm going to do all of this real quick, and I will meet you back here once that is finished. So there we have it. That is all finished up now. It is raining. Unfortunately, that will not do the job. We will have to use a couple of our buckets to flood all of this right here, but it should go fairly quickly. Again, we'll just kind of fill in along the edges, not take water from corners like that, and it will slowly start to come together. So I'm going to get to work on all of this. We are going to flood this entire river, and then once that is finished, we will be done with this project. And there we have it. Our river has been flooded. Before we fly up and get a look at this though, I want to remove the netherrack. That way we can get a view of it fully complete. So I'm going to go through and do this real quick, and then we will be finished with this river project. And with all of the netherrack removed, now we have ourselves a finished river. I have not flown up to see how this looks from the sky. I am very excited to do so. So why don't we go ahead and do that right now, and we will see how this looks. That is definitely not bad. Of course, it is lacking a lot of detail, specifically the banks of the river and the canyon right over here, but that stuff can all come later on. All that matters right now is that we have ourselves a flow of water from the lake all the way to the ocean. A great addition to the valley, something that we can plan and structure a lot of our building around. But with that all finished, that is where we are going to end the episode for today. I really hope you enjoyed it. If you did, definitely hit that thumbs up button and make sure you are subscribed so you don't miss out on daily content as soon as I publish it. We have some pillagers that also want to check out our brand new river. I will go take care of them in just a moment. Check the description for some more important information, links, how to contact me, all of that good stuff. And with all of that being said, comment, like, subscribe, remember to stay optimistic, and I will see all of you tomorrow. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. Bye!